after the massive 6.8 shake on Tuesday evening, this morning Trinidad and Tobago had another shake. An aftershock was recorded this morning shortly before 9:30 a.m. The UE Seismic Research Center registered the quake at 5.9 on the Richter scale at 9:27 a.m. The epicenter of the quake was said to be to the east-southeast of the northwestern Venezuelan city of Carúpano. The quake was felt as far north as Grenada. It is unknown if this aftershock caused further damage. We understand that members of the fire service are currently assessing the Trinity Cathedral in Port of Spain. Yesterday, a portion of the cathedral fell onto a Nissan Tida parked in a nearby car park. The officers were also called to assess the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception on Independence Square, as fears arose that the cross on the church would fall. Movietown also announced that their Port of Spain branch will be closed today. And we've been told that while accident and emergency departments at all public hospitals across Trinidad and Tobago will remain open today, the Ministry of Health has instructed all public health clinics to close. The National Emergency Operations Center has been activated to coordinate emergency responses following the 6.8 magnitude earthquake felt across Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday. Reports from the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center indicate that the 6.8 magnitude earthquake occurred 55 kilometers east-southeast of Carúpano, Venezuela. CEO of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, Neville Wint, is reminding all citizens, if impacted, to contact the ODPM at 511, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency TEMA at 211, or your municipal corporation.
Do that assessment of their premises, ensure that it is strong. Be mindful that we can have aftershocks after an earthquake of this magnitude, and persons who take the necessary precaution to ensure that they have their emergency family kits and a family plan should we have earthquakes either of the same magnitude or less, taking the fact that we are still trying to determine the structural stability of a lot of buildings and facilities within Trinidad and Tobago. To remain calm, if there are any injuries to your structures, you can report it to your municipal corporation to the 800 toll-free number, and let's look out for each other.
Minister of National Security and Communications, Stuart Young, has confirmed at this time that there have been no reports of fatalities linked to last night's earthquake. The minister was giving an update while speaking on Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago this morning.
Good morning and welcome. So my first question goes to Mr.
Thankfully at this stage, and hopefully it remains this way, there is no report of any loss of life or serious injury as a result of the earthquake yesterday. As you all are showing on social media and other forms of communication, there were videos of certain damage done. So the Ministry of Works and Transport is leading the charge with its engineers in assessing the infrastructure around the country. They start.
The minister said, however, there continues to be assessments to ascertain property damage across the country.
And roads, and of course we'll move on now to buildings. They've made a call for engineers to assist with this. I know UDCOS are going to assist the Ministry of Works and Transport in having their engineers do assessments of some of the government buildings. There are a couple of government ministries that were affected. The Ministry of Public Administration suffered some damage at the Malice building, and they have closed for parts of today, if not the whole of today, whilst assessments are done.
Several government agencies have not opened this morning as checks on their premises are being undertaken.
Ministry of Education, where they've asked staff to come out at 12. I've just gotten information. The Ministry of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, they will open at 11. So various offices, both in the public sector and the private sector, on a case-by-case basis, are doing assessments of their buildings and the infrastructure, and they will communicate directly with their staff.
Meanwhile, Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan confirmed that the ministry's team has been out in the field doing assessments since Tuesday evening in the aftermath of the earthquake. He too spoke on Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago.
we got a lot of reports of cracks in building and the engineering team would have gone out to clear some of these buildings for occupancy this morning. Take, for instance, the Ministry of Works building, we saw some cracks on the walls on the ground floor and some of the upper floors. That would have been cleared last night as superficial cracks, so the employees would be allowed back in the building this morning.
The minister confirmed that some government buildings were damaged during the earthquake, but it was still to be determined to what extent.
Some of these offices would have had staggering opening hours this morning, because until the ministry goes in, the Ministry of Works Engineers goes in, we recommend that the employees stay out of those buildings that we identify.